This video will guide you through assembling the Ride1Up Prodigy V2. For additional assembly information, please visit our assembly resource page for the Prodigy V2. Once you've opened the box, carefully remove the bike and set it on the ground in an upright position. We recommend getting help from an extra person when lifting the bike. Start by removing the black box with parts and tools from your e-bike. Inside the box, you'll find a tool set, manual, maintenance grease, the charger, and a few other items. Carefully cut the zip ties and remove the packaging material and the front wheel from the bike. Be sure not to accidentally cut any wires or cables while removing the packaging. If you don't own a bike stand, it might be helpful to use the packaging cardboard on the rear wheel to help keep the bike balanced upright during assembly. We're going to start by installing the handlebars. It is very important to note that the fork is shipped facing the opposite direction. Turn the fork and stem 180 degrees counterclockwise so that the stem is pointing forward while ensuring that none of the wiring is being tugged on or tensioned as you turn the fork. Using a hex wrench, remove the handlebar clamp bolts. Orient the handlebars so that the brake levers are facing away from the bike. When placing it on the stem, the display should be on the left, the non-drive side, and the shifter should be on the right, the drive side, and ensure that the cables are not twisted or under tension. The front light and the stem clamp are shipped assembled together. Position the handlebar on the stem and secure it with a clamp by lightly screwing back in the 4 stem bolts evenly in an X pattern. Then center the handlebar by using the stamped marker as a guide. Once the handlebar is centered, tighten the bolts evenly by alternating between the bolts in an X pattern. Next, take the front wheel and carefully cut the zip ties that release the front fender. Remove the rest of the packaging, which include these black axle protectors you can throw away. Also packed within the front wheel is the quick release skewer used to install the front wheel to the fork. Feed the quick release skewer through the front wheel axle. The tip of the conical spring should be pointed inwards towards the wheel, with the lever being on the non-rotor side. Next, on the front fork dropouts, unscrew the 2 nuts securing the fork to the packaging platform. Then remove the brake caliper insert. Be sure not to pull the brake lever after you pull this insert without the front wheel installed. Place the front wheel into the fork dropouts, ensuring that the brake rotor disc slides into the brake caliper as shown here. With the front wheel securely in the fork dropouts, tighten the quick release skewer by screwing in the black cap end first, then securing it by pulling the lever on the other end. The skewer lever should be tight enough to leave a light imprint in your palm once secured. Inside the parts box, you'll find a plastic bag with hardware that contains 3 washers, 1 large bolt, and 2 smaller bolts which we will use to install the front fender. Place the fender over the front wheel. Using the larger bolt and a washer, bolt the fender to the fork bridge. It may require backing the bolt out to open the thread slightly. The fender should have enough clearance to avoid any rubbing from the tire. Next, secure both fender stays to the brackets on each side of the front fork using the 2 smaller bolts and washers. This may require some additional adjustment to get the proper fit. Next, to install the pedals, start by lubricating the pedal threads using maintenance grease provided in the parts box. The right side pedal will be marked with an R sticker, which goes on the drive side of the bike. Start by carefully threading the right pedal clockwise by hand first. Then, use the 15mm wrench provided to tighten fully. The left side pedal will be marked with an L sticker, which goes on the non-drive side of the bike. Start by carefully threading the left pedal counterclockwise by hand first. Then use the 15mm wrench to fully tighten. Next, we'll assemble the rear reflector and install it to the rear rack. First, using the provided hardware on the reflector, attach the reflector to the L bracket. Once assembled, install the reflector by using the 2 remaining screws found in the plastic bag, then screwing in the bracket to the rear rack underneath the light. Next, ensure that the handlebar is straight and aligned perpendicular to the front wheel. You can check this by supporting the front tire between your legs and checking for alignment visually. Once aligned, tighten both headset bolts to the torque specifications printed on the headset. Remove the seat post and apply maintenance grease to the post. Then insert it back into the seat tube to the desired height and close the clamp. To remove the battery, first remove the protective plate by pushing the tab downwards. Keeping one hand on the battery for support, insert the key and turn counterclockwise to unlock it. Continuing to support the battery, press the tab on top of the battery to release it from the frame. On the battery, there's an LED indicator that will display your battery levels manually by pressing the lightning bolt symbol. To reinstall it back in the frame, insert the bottom of the battery first, then press the top firmly to latch it into place. Turn the key clockwise to lock it into the frame. Then insert the bottom of the protective plate first, then push the top until it clicks, ensuring the latch is secured. You can adjust the resistance from the fork suspension using the dial on the right fork stanchion. Turning the dial counterclockwise will provide you less resistance, and turning clockwise will provide more resistance. Turning clockwise completely will lock out the fork and make it rigid. The air fork on this e-bike can periodically be refilled through the left stanchion using a shock pump. Do not use a traditional tire pump to refill the fork. Bike shock mechanics will often provide this service free of charge. Next, to adjust the position of the front light, loosen the bolt using the hex wrench and position it forward but facing slightly downwards towards the ground. Then tighten the bolt to secure it into place. To charge the battery while installed into the frame, you will find a charge port on the non-drive side near the bottom of the seat tube. Ensure that the charge port cover is closed while riding and free of moisture or debris before charging. You can remove the protective laminate if desired from the display. To turn on the e-bike, press and hold the power button located on the front edge of the display for about 2 to 3 seconds. Check the description below for more information on adjusting and bedding your brakes and detailed display settings. For the Prodigy V2 XR and ST frames, find information on derailleur tuning in the link below. Please check our knowledge base at Ride1Up.com for additional resources and digital copies to your display and owner's manual.